Hello, everyone, and welcome to what is very much a new energetic in terms of quite a range, actually, in terms of its frequency, in terms of its feeling, in terms of its unique kind of re-entrance to the planet, and the effect and impact that it's having on us. Excuse me. And including the body. So I thought that I would begin by just reading the little post I made on the 11th as an introduction, because these energies still apply. So in the body, some of you may be experiencing some pain at the moment as well. So thank you for joining me, and happy Easter. I haven't been on, I think, for, 5 or 6 days, and I have really felt the benefits of it, because I don't know about you, but I have been in almost exhaustion. I've just not had a lot left over at all, and I have had a little sleep, and often that doesn't affect me, but it has affected me the last few days, and feeling, very, very much in that exhaustion, as though I am playing catch up in lots of different ways. But I feel that it's good. I feel that there's a sense of a lot of us being kind of thrown a curved ball that's enabled us to surrender, to totally drop into that mode of allowance, and of feeling as though it's okay. We really don't have to worry. It is all coming into alignment. It's coming to pass. It's going to unfold perfectly. And a lot of those of us who are awake and conscious are, I feel, in that place of kind of balance and equilibrium, of that all-knowing, not all-knowing, all knowledge, but that all-knowing that this is all unfolding and is in perfect alignment, and that our job, if you like, is to just be with it and be in it. Anyway, I'm just going to begin by reading what I wrote, what came through for the 11th of April, which was an 11/11 portal day. It was the conclusion of a corridor or a portal that opened on the 4th. That showed up very clearly. I've spoken about that. And then, of course, we're in a new energetic between the 11th and the 22nd of this month as well. And so I probably won't get to speak about that tonight, but let's begin. So the 11/11 portal day, the heavenly gateway opens wide today for the breath of oneness and the breath of the Holy Divine Child. And so I want to encourage you to feel into what I would call the sacredness of that, the sanctity of it. There's something very pure about that construct. Humanity is invited to open up their hearts and minds and receive the blessings of this energy in a conscious manner. And I believe that that's what we who are awake have now got the permission, the invitation to do, is to be very conscious with our breath, to really see it as sacred and holy and enabling. So I wrote here on the 11th, personally, I'm feeling this energy in the spine and around the shoulder blades, and also accompanied by an intense heat and a tightness in the muscles. So all the way through the back, really, and then the side back of the skull, that part that's very, very tender, in behind the ears on both sides. And I was told that these are the receiving receptors in the skull being awakened. So hello, Felix and Charlotte and Sarah, or Sarah, and Diane and Billy. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. And I feel that we're in this kind of higher attunement, this finer alignment, this coming in. It's like coming into the settled sanctity of our own grace, this beauty, this knowing that we are on the ending component, like a guy's been calling it the end of the end part, but we're kind of right on the end of that. It may feel strong in the body, and I'm telling you this even though this was on the 11th, because I believe that there is still some of this going on for people, and then I'll talk to you about the other body feelings. It may feel strong in the body, and stretching exercises, deep breathing, and extra hydration are recommended. Your emotions may be very close to the surface, so you can see now, I'm sure you can see why I'm rereading this, because all of this is pertinent to the energies still. As the emotional body is awakening to higher levels of sensitivity and therefore deeper levels of release and purification, and we are still in that. Tears may come easily, they have been for me, tears of joy, tears of sadness, tears of grief, just tears. I haven't even always known what they are for, but they're close to the surface. And this is, I believe, the purification of the emotional body. I believe that based on, if I was to write case studies of what's been going on with a lot of my clients, we've been unraveling things right back to the beginning of time. Right back to people's first incarnations or early incarnations here as underwater Lemurians, as beings who have come from the stars, as those giant beings of our early times, some of the Anunnaki. And so it's like, I don't know, I want to say it's like when it reminds me of how we play with our breath with babies and little children. It feels like that. It's like playing with the breath. It's like breathing into the past. It's sort of it's using it's like a breath of life. It's a breath of expansion. It's softening, it's opening, it's expansive. And I feel that we're in this place where when we drop into the softness of that, the naivety of that, the innocence of that, the purity of that, there's something exquisite about this energy that we can explore and learn from. And bliss and joy. So this whole spectrum of grief and sorrow to bliss and joy, and often related to the past, and this also this deep, hi Leah, hi Nats, this deep level of wing activation. So that has been showing up for more and more people, definitely linking into pain, more I want to say it feels like the kind of bruising you would get from a pounding, as though as though somebody massaged you with their fists too hard. It feels bruised. The area around the shoulder blades can feel bruised, and I got shown that this was the flooding of angelic codes, and they're coming in to arouse recognition of your angelic rememberings as service to others through your healing abilities returns, as we will remember, as you will remember more and more of who you are and why you came, and your gifts and talents, your knowledge and skills from all of the lives here and on other planets and in other universes. It's when I look at that and feel into that, it's extraordinarily massive. If you think about this being the records of your soul, the experiences of your soul, and that they extend to that which maybe you already know, but the idea that we are now retrieving or having access to. So these soul memories, the soul wisdom, the soul knowledge throughout not just this earth and not just the lifetimes on this earth through the time, space and dimensions, but beyond into the multiverse and beyond. As we come into ascension and higher consciousness in process of co-creation and recreation of new earth, of uplifting and of regenesis, of paradise on earth, our new Edenic codes are lighting. Notice your new vibration. I'll get to that in a minute. I'll have to skip forward. Notice your new vibration as we embrace and embody fifth dimensional frequencies. Know also that holding this frequency and vibration impacts the collective. As more light workers are aligned to their fifth dimensional selves, collective energy waves form to awaken others. So this is now, it's like I don't know that I can necessarily reconcile this to every detail, but it is as though there was this opportunity for us to ascend like that, and now what has happened is that for whatever reason that opportunity was missed or skipped, and we are now in this building for and of the collective so that more people can have this ascension experience in the physical body, because it's this highly desirable experience. And definitely we are, in the kind of last components of the darker elements, the Kabbalistic notions, the satanistic practices, the influences of those are diminished and releasing. And so this allows our earth to, again, the breath, this allows our earth to breathe differently as it does us. So I'm weaving in here. Hello, Leah. I don't know if I said hello to you, Leah. Hello, Leah. Hello, Beachweave, and hello, Nancy. So I just gave myself permission because, I think two of you said how I felt like a planet. And honestly, I don't know if I was like a planet or not, but I felt so expanded and so stretched, and it really took its toll on me. And actually, no, that's not true. I just haven't shared this. I did ask GAIA, it's in there somewhere. I did ask GAIA about what I'd been doing, and she did tell me. Sorry, perhaps I'll find it and tell you next time. But I'm weaving in here some things about the divine masculine. So because I haven't been on for a while, so instead of extracting it out, So I was told and tuned in and got given that the divine masculines were feeling numb in the mind as a response. And so, this is also to do with us and our internal divine masculine. So the divine masculine, so even this makes me, honestly, so many tears so close to the surface. Feeling numb in the mind as a response to the overwhelm they are experiencing in their emotional body. Many will be feeling tumultuous in this time as much is thrown at them to rise higher in stature and vibration, to see themselves and your aspect of the divine masculine, as who they truly are. This must be awakened through their emotional memories and the sensory body. Remember that everything is highly expanded and accelerated during this month of April as we reach into higher levels of consciousness and an increasingly fifth dimensional experience or saturation of that. Psychic gifts awakening to a new level for many and will be accompanied by strong pressure and energies in and around the crown, temples, and skull. Certainly, lots of my clients, as I have been tuning into them, that's been what I've been feeling. So, there's been a lot of, pressure in the occipital bone, pressure in various places. In here, like there's this sort of, I don't know what that's called, but in behind the ears, that part of the skull, there's been energies in there. If you imagine this hat ring, right, where you would sit a crown or a hat around there, there's been a lot of energies in that. There's been a lot of energies in people's brow bones in the center here in the third eye, through the eyes, these rings that connect the temples and through here and the crown, and tingling and opening, and some movement through the central vertical core, both down and up. So this is all to do with the development of psychic vision, and then, or clairvoyance, and then the other aspect has been strongly in the audio. So a lot of aching in the ears, a lot of feeling of pressure in the ears, as though they are trying to equalize. If you've ever had that issue when you've been in a plane or under the water, the pressure impacts and you have to equalize through your ears. The levels. So our three-dimensional world is crumbling. That's becoming more and more obvious. And even in the mainstream media, there's more and more release of data and documentation and evidence and videos of things that have been hidden, that have been covered up, and this release of a lot of this in terms of politicians, in terms of decisions being made by government, in terms of backhand deals, and all sorts of evidence around what's gone on in the last few years, what's gone on in the church, what's gone on in countries to do with war or not war, or pretend war, and hidden casualties and statistics in terms of deaths and trafficking and stolen children, and just inaccurate reporting. Everything can really just be sort of tossed in the air, I guess you could say. So it looks like it's chaotic until you go higher, right? So I don't see too much of the chaos, and I certainly don't feel it. but I'm aware that it's likely happening. I don't have television, and if I listen to the radio, it's only by accident. But it's like, this nice analogy I got given, like turning over the sod. So you get your spade and you dig a rectangle of the grass out and you turn it over, and it looks muddy and murky and there's little bits and pieces you can see in it. But then what happens? The grass grows from it again, and it's fresh and vital. And so in a way, that's a very simple metaphor for what is occurring. So, yep, view it and go higher. That's always Gaia's instruction. Yes, Ascension timing being extended to enable a greater number of humanity to ascend. So Gaia has spoken for a long time about 70% would ascend. And so we're not there yet, but we are definitely past the halfway mark. We're in this energy. Those of you who are astrologers will already know this, and you know I'm not, but we're in this energy of the North Node and Saturn. So that is in its peak today in the 14th, and we've got this energy of the full moon as well, and we've got this sort of Aries energy. And so there's a lot going on energetically in a whole lot of different ways that's impacting what is going on in terms of relationships and all of those things we talked about the rejigs, about the relocations, the new jobs, the new houses, the new geography, the new relationships. Well, we're in the ending parts of those, and many will have already begun the new parts of those. And so this month is massive to me. I can't believe that we're only halfway through it. It feels like we've been in it for an entire month. It's felt very expanded and very full. Okay, so then these are notes from yesterday. This energy, whilst light-filled and crystalline coded, because we are getting all these codes and they are really making our body work hard, if you like. This energy, whilst light-filled and crystalline coded, is both hugely transformative and may feel heavy in the body because of this. So it's not that it's weighty and dense, it's that there's so much going on with it. And so it can be that is the feeling, this kind of compression. Many of you are once again doing double duty, grounding these energies into your own form and earth and resonating them out from your heart for the benefit of others. So many light workers are doing that a little bit on automatic pilot, and it is like doing a double shift. Hold your course is the instruction. Huge energy, very strong and stretching feelings are coming up in the divine masculines, especially in the higher heart and the sternum. Now this is not just in the masculine, but in everyone is having this kind of masculine experience. And so definitely when I've been feeling into that, it sends me, I wrote this. Yesterday there were times where it felt as though a small wooden mallet was tapping on the sternum. It really did. It really had that effect, as though, well, you know how you can tap your thymus, but it was like that. It was hard. It was as though a wooden mallet was tapping on there, and then this huge stretching that comes across here, and a bone ache. It's in the bones. It's in the joints. So some people, as I'm feeling into some people, there's that was very, very strong, and there's this stretching as though it's being pulled open, and then the equivalent. And so today when I woke up, and well, actually not when I woke up, I was up early, and a couple of hours later I stepped out the door to go to the gym, and I actually felt as though someone punched me in the center of my rear heart chakra. It was really strong, and that's how it felt. It felt as though someone had punched me there, and so that was the feeling that I've held. It's nearly gone, but that's been sitting there all day. So that's where the rear aspects of our chakras have been getting a real workout lately. Divine masculines are still in the receipt of epiphanies, as mentioned the other day, these huge aha moments of who they are and what they are meant to be doing. What is their mission and purpose? This recognition of a greater view or perspective, who they are meant to be with, and all of the misfit components in their three-dimensional life is coming up like a smack in the face with a wet fish, is what I wrote. Realizations of how their 3D life doesn't measure up. And so they are either at the beginning or the middle stages of observing these aspects as they watch the crumbling, the dissolving, the falling away of jobs, friends, locations, partnerships. So these are all showing up to be questioned and examined. Is this right? Is this good? Is this in alignment with who I am and who I am becoming? So the divine masculine querying those, an internal inquiry. Also, they are likely getting nudges from the divine, and strong clues will be showing up in their world. So you will remember those. If you're a divine feminine, you will remember that they come through in waves, don't they? All of those syncs, all of the times you see their name, hear their names, see the beings who look like them or move like them or have a silhouette like them. So all of that is strongly showing up in their world, and this will develop greater strength and clarity as the divine masculines drop more clearly into their hearts. Okay, next. Increased perception and revelations will be arising for all of us as the DNA strands continue to be reconnected. So it's quite extraordinary when you think about that. And so that to me, as a therapist, I guess, links into all of the bits to do with the sternum, the blood, the marrow, the spine, still haven't looked it up, sorry. Somebody must be able to help me. The spongy bit between the vertebrae, whatever that biological name is. So the strength of this purification and the depth of this purification may mean that many of you are experiencing emotions and feelings that have not been a part of your experience for a long while. It's like digging down into this really deep hole and scraping on the bottom and having some mud come up. Fear, anger, grottiness, impatience, a feeling of I'm over this. If you're on, the TF journey, or the awakening, the entire show, this was the sense. We're not there now, or we're just moving out of that now. But yeah, that whole I'm over it, this has been enough, it's gone on and on. Where is the shift? Where's the dynamic? Where's the outcome? Haven't we been on the finishing line for long enough, that exhaustion, and it's all designed to bring us into the 0 point, to bring us into, put it in the effort bucket, to just really let it go and know that it's taking us to that degree of being so grounded in the now that everything can be beautiful and amazing. Weary to the bone, feeling stretched and exhausted, that you have been in the end part of the race for way too long. That's what I wrote. It feels tough. Hang in there. We are oh so close. I'm showing, so this was yesterday, I was showing the balancing scales. So those old scales that had a crossbar on a little leverage, let's call it a triangle, so on a triangular point, and then this is how things were weighed once, right? So there would be a weight, a measure on one side, and the goods would be placed on the other. So I was showing that kind of balancing scale, and I was showing that it's just starting to do this. It's just this little tiny gentle rock. So it's not doing that. It's just this. You can just see it. Hello, Nancy. Hello, Anne. Hello, Larissa. Hello, Fiona. So we are on the edges of this in a real tangible way, is my sense of it. So yeah, I was showing the balancing scales and just making this really tiny, barely discernible side to side movement. So that's the tipping point, right? So when that goes one way or the other is when we will have this sort of ascension wave. So what I believe is that we have been having mini ascension waves, and some days we've had more than one, and that this is this sort of more gentle way of up leveling everybody, and that when there are enough, whatever that number is, it's how I am showing it is that hearts connect up. There's some kind of pattern, what would you call it, like an energetic signature or pattern that's created through the connection of hearts that are at the correct frequency, whatever that frequency is. And so when that is connected up, that let's say sends a signal to the sun, and the sun releases the wave that operates as the tipping point, the ascension wave for the planet and for humanity to go into this fifth dimensional saturation. So this process of ascension, the heart connections, the energetic pattern signaling the sun to release an ascension wave. That's the summary of it. It's anytime soon. So in the body, it's pretty massive what's been going on in the body. So let me see if I can give you some extra pieces. So in the bones, definitely people have been feeling pain in the bones. So to me, this is two things. This is the expansion. So there's expansion going on in the bones and the joints and the vertebrae, and any time that bones are moved is painful. So it's very incremental, but it can have that feeling of having creaky joints. And we've definitely been having more pain in the skull, and that's likely to be in the movement and expansion of the skull as well, in the cranial, in the plates. And then the psychic upgrades. So this is what's happening just in the head. The psychic upgrades affecting ears, eyes. A lot of people are having deep releases through the cheek plates and the teeth. The teeth are really kind of showing up now more than was more jaw maybe last month, but it's deeper now. We're into the depths of this purification and release. So a lot in the back teeth, especially top and bottom, but the back 3 or 4 molars. This is massive. What's going on in here? This is the emerald energy, the emerald color, the emerald stone, the emerald order, the connection back to the early codes of creation. Many people here will have been a part of these, bringing these creation codes to the earth in some form. And so this has been showing up all of, the emerald, the creation, the early creation codes, and they link to the higher heart. So that's why many of us are into this remembering of who we are and where we came from and what we came for, and the ancient coming up. And this in here feeling very painful in the stretch, if you like, very much like that. So I don't know if you know about the tapping here. 1 1 1 2 3 1 2 3. This is your thymus. This is a really good place to tap using that rhythm or that pulse, and you can put some affirmations in through there as well. Then the ears. So the ears have been interesting. So I meant to look up, but there's always something I forget to do. But this section in behind the ears that sort of will be part of our skull, but feels a bit like cartilage because it feels as though there's cartilage perhaps sitting over it. That's definitely been doing its own aching and stretching, and so I believe that that's to do with this auditory development as well, this clear audience, this ability to hear. And I'll tell you what, and I might be wrong about this, but this is my theorizing, and this is fitting with what I'm getting with clients, is that in the main, if there are some people who are hearing the past, and I believe that's people hearing through the left ear, and there are some people who are hearing in the right ear, and that's the future coming in. That's what I reckon. And there are people who are hearing in both ears, or having energetics in both ears, but that's what I believe, that we're hearing things come in. We're hearing them from our past, and we're hearing them from our future or from this time. So maybe just take notice of that, see how that fits for you. And the cheek. So the cheek plates, that's quite interesting. It's not something I have an answer to yet either. I'm just mentioning it because I try and tell you what I am noticing, even if I haven't got the answer to it. So what has been really showing up with the third eye, so this kind of movement around here, this ring around here, the temples and through here, and the brows and in behind the eyes, and then more and more energetically coming down through into the nasal area, into the bridge of the nose. That too is linking, I believe, to this psychic development, this psychic vision, this clairvoyance. Heat. We've been in massive heat, especially in the back, especially in the muscles. So in the bones, there's been this kind of stretch because, well, I'm sorry, but I did say I believe that we were going to get taller and that was going to happen through the spine. And I believe that that is what we're beginning to have an experience of now. And so we've, just if you imagine that everybody was stretched 1 millimeter between each vertebrae, that would make everybody 33 millimeters taller, So that is, if you are in imperial measurement, then that is a little bit more than an inch. And if you're in metrics, sorry, I've got a hair that's annoying me somewhere, then it's 33 millimeters or 3.3 centimeters. And I, I mean, we used to be taller. We used to be taller. I do have the sense of height and consciousness having a correlation, we'll see, in terms of evolution anyway. Yeah, but massive heat, especially in the back and especially across the back as well. So like giant pads of heat in the chakras, in the rear aspect of the chakras, but across the back, across the top of the back and into the shoulders. So to me, this is this re-arousing, this reawakening of the angelic codes. And then, yeah, all the way through the chakras, all the way down through the back. A lot of flow, massive kind of uptake in the soles of the feet as well. I think that's all. I think you just keep checking in, but there's a lot of pain has been coming through. Don't ignore it, but just tune into it. Oh yeah. So those of you who said you look like a planet or you feel like a planet will laugh about this. So this is yesterday. You might know, sometimes I kind of, if you like, drop into the center of the earth. It feels like I physically move there. That really does. And other times I take my consciousness there, and sometimes I invite Gaia's consciousness to come and sit on the couch with me. But yesterday, when I went into Gaia's cave, I was huge, like wide and broad and planet-like. And I laughed because that's what Andrea and Anna had both said to me, how you feel like a planet. And so yesterday I had that experience. I looked like a planet with a head and legs. And it was pretty humorous. And this white crystalline light pillar was streaming through me. It was broader than my head. That's just probably what everybody was experiencing, but sometimes I am maybe privileged to see it, to have the experience of it to pass on to you. But that's the extent of this crystalline streaming flow of energies. It's that big. It's bigger than our heads, moving through our bodies. And I wrote here, I looked like the Michelin Woman. When I was pregnant, these two friends of mine who weren't very friendly, these two male friends of mine, that's what they would call me. They called me the Michelin Woman in their sick humour. So I want to say it's all going well. We are being through what is left of the dark has little power. Thorough. We are being thorough. That's what Gaia said. It's all going well. We are being thorough. What is left of the dark has little power. They look. Oh yeah, that's right. So I was showing them. They looked like flat black silhouettes. So if you imagine a human being as a balloon shape blowing up, and then all the air taken out of them. That's how Gaia showed me what those who are, have been working in that darker element. That's the extent of their power now. They look like flat black shapes. Fiona's had pain in her teeth and jawline a few times. Yeah, so just talk to your teeth and talk to your jaw. And I always think it's good to thank your body for storing it and holding it, and be grateful for it having done that, and give it permission to be released. Rael is saying waves over the days in the body, yes, and cranial pressure on and off, allowing a gentle pace and space to ground and feel into things is aiding it. Perfect. That's really good advice. Willingly just experiencing it all. And the heat. Yeah, the heat's been, I think the heat's been absolutely phenomenal. It has felt like lying in the sun on a tropical island that's been that hot. Beach Weaver's saying she's missing most of this, so we'll watch the replay. I'm sorry that that's happening to you. Okay, back to the DM. So like I said to you, that's a little bit sort of woven in here today. The DMs are actually tired. That's what I got. They have been in physical combat in the ethers, allowing, so feel into this, allowing the divine feminines to ground the energies. So each are playing their part. And this is a bit of an admonition, and so I don't mean it personally to any of you, but this is what came through. The divine feminines need to make an adjustment to their perspective of what the divine masculines have been up to, because these are equal and yet different roles being played at this time. So here's a little quote that I got given, and I think it applies to all of us. He is growing up to be your match. So that's just a general statement about the divine masculine. And then back to everybody, your body is becoming more attuned to these energies of the divine holy breath as these high frequencies permeate the bones, and therefore many may be feeling physical pain in their bones. Baths, spa baths, steam rooms, or using a rubber roller or a sponge roller, like for aching muscles. Under your back, that could be useful. If you don't have one of those, then tightly roll up a bath towel and just move your body up and down on it. That will help. Yes, we are uplifting and we are up leveling. Many have reached a place of deep peace, Gaia said, a letting go, a place of surrender, a place of allowance, and which is having a significant impact on the collective energy. So it is as though we are aiming for this kind of middle point of ease, and that it's like when we have enough ease, there's enough of the sort of underbelly, the underneath that's gone, that allows this to be uplifted so quickly. So what is having a significant impact on the collective energy. This is beginning to seep across the earth and create a new baseline. Remember, this is one of the markers now, this peace and ease across the planet. So this last little bit of the warmongering that's going on to be back to peace again. I have a sense, I haven't really tuned into that, but I want to say I have a sense that we're on the ends of that. There is still more refining, purifying, and recalibrating occurring in humanity and on the planet, but we are close to finding that 0 point, that neutral zone for a restart. These levelings, or this leveling, creates a newly felt energetic. Awakened ones will be experiencing a newness, an unknown quantity and quality about the energies. So I'm intrigued to know what that is like for you. It's hard to describe at the moment. I feel we're still feeling our way into them because it's so new. They are enabling to us to be grounded, to have a solid, they are enabling these energies. They are enabling, they are grounded, they have a solid, dependable feeling to them. They're not like, and it's not very long ago, is it, where we were really feeling the ooh kind of energetics to them, really high, buzzy frequency. They're not like that anymore. We've really acclimatized to them. They have a constancy that we haven't experienced before, even though the frequency is much higher. Your adaptability, your deftness shows up in this ability to be more even and more constant. Even in the release, I bet you do the release in a moment. I bet it comes as a few tears. I bet it's not giant sobbing, throwing yourself into your pillows. Okay. And then I want to speak about this. Made me laugh. It made me laugh because it's like it's like speaking about the Earth being a flat Earth, but just laugh about it. It's it's this analogy. It's like if you think of a disc, and you think of if you think of a snow globe, really, with this perspex cover over it, and that maybe it has a depth in the base or the plate, and you think about that being the Earth. This is what I was showing before. And imagine that is spinning. So imagine a spinning disc. We're not talking about a spinning sphere. We're talking about a spinning disc, because this is what the energies are showing up like to me. And imagine that, there's that glitter in it, and a liquid in it, and it's spinning, but it hasn't yet reached a spin rate where everything is even in flow and aligned. And that's what our energy is like now. Another way of describing it, if any of you have ever driven or learned to drive in a car that has a gearbox that isn't automatic, it's that point at which the engine is either, I'm not very mechanical, slowing down or speeding up, and matching that to the change of gears and not quite mastering it. And so it's clunky. That's the kind of it. That's my analogy of this experience that we're in at the moment. So we've got this whole lot of these faster energies, and yet we haven't quite got into the rhythm of it, or the movement of it. So it's as though some parts in this moving disc, some parts are moving at the same space or rate or speed as the disc, and some parts aren't. So it has that clunkiness to it. It doesn't quite feel, it feels odd, lacking in smoothness. I think that's the best way. So when you are going down a hill at a faster speed that your engine is coping with, or the engines have this automatic kind of, it's an engine brake built into the engine, but it can have that kind of feel to it. That's what we're in at the moment, because we've been in these brand spanking new energies, and we just haven't quite, I guess it's like putting on, getting on a brand new snowboard, and it goes faster than your old one, or putting on roller skates with new wheels and new bearings, and they just go faster. It's that experience. So we are learning to drive in these new energies, and so we're just kind of, I guess we're being a bit like learner drivers in these new energies, but we'll use our existing nuance of flow and mastery, and we'll be in the rhythm of it. But that's kind of what's showing up for me about these energies at the moment. And so we're in this fullness of the divine holy breath that is helping us to be able to come into our smoothness, alignment, and higher vibration and frequency. And then this, imagine when we are all on the ice rink in our new skates, or on the roller skate rink, with our new wheels, and we are skating around the perimeter of that. We'll create an energetic, won't we? And others will be able to slide into the, whatever that's called, the tail draft, or the whatever, there's a name for that, I don't know it. The drift. Everyone else can be pulled into it. Does that make sense? And then I've just seen, hi Golden, hi Natasha. the golden saying, trying not to be too hard on yourself, still healing from past pain. I think that that is just the best advice that we can each give ourselves. That's why I took some time away, because I just felt like I needed to give that to myself so then I can be of better service to everyone. And I feel that that's the best self-service that we can give at the moment, is to honor ourselves by recognizing that we've reached a level of mastery and we're now moving into advanced mastery, and that might require a bit more rest, a bit more relaxation, a bit more hydration, a bit more get yourself into some water, and a bit more sleep. So I wish you all so much love and joy, actually. Joy. I wish you so much joy as we try to gather our momentum back and get into the speed and frequency of this new higher space. Fiona's just saying, it reminds me of swimming in as a little girl in the pool, and the teacher got us running in a circle around the pool. Then we lifted our feet to float around in a circle in the current. That is perfect. That is exactly what I was talking about. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. Much love.